Hi travelers, Tara here, Hiddenlotus Tarot, and I'm going to come to you today with a elemental reading. This is a general reading. It will be for the air signs, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. It's going to be a mini cross. The full extended readings will be over on the website. Those include romance and work and career. I completely missed the fact that Jupiter went retrograde on February 6th. So we have 3 planets in retrograde right now. We have Jupiter, which is retrograde, I think, let me check my thing here. It's stationed retrograde at 23 degrees Libra. That's funny because I have, that's my part of fortune right there, my lucky point. And it ends and stations direct on June 2017 at 13 degrees Libra. We also have Venus, which is retrograde in Aries. I don't know the degrees just yet. And we also have Mercury shadow retrograde. It will be going retrograde into the sign of Taurus. That's the money house, people. So if you have any investments or property or deals that you're trying to get done, if you can, try to get them done before it actually goes. I will put the degrees down underneath the in the about not the about section, but underneath the video. So I will put the dates and the degrees there. You can read about that there, because right off the top of my head, I don't know. Anyway, if you'd like a reading or think you'd like to get a reading with me, you can always click on the little eye up in the right-hand corner. That'll take you directly over to the website. I do ask for those of you who might be interested in a phone reading that before you submit payment and complete the booking form, because it's a 2-step process, that you do read the important information on booking. That will tell you everything that you need to know about the manner in which I conduct phone readings. If you'd like a video reading, that there's a tab there, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I do have website membership options where you get access to the full monthly videos. There's also free natal birth charts, there's astrology, there's articles, there's all kinds of things. There are 3 membership options, and you can read about those if you go over to the website. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This again is an elemental air reading for the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I'm reading for lots of people, so this message, none of the messages may resonate with you, in which case, please try to take what you can and disregard what you cannot. We're going to do a mini cross. Seven of Swords. What's crossing right now is the Six of Wands. That is a horrible combination. Queen of Wands. Knight of Swords. The Justice card. And the Hanged Man. Underneath the deck, I have the 8 of Wands. Now, the way this is read is we read the energies down the center, going from past to future here. This tells us what what's kind of preventing us from moving forward, which is kind of weird because I would expect the cards to go out the other way. But I have 2 major arcana cards, and for those of you who don't know anything about the tarot, the deck is broken into 2 distinct groups or sections. One is known as the major arcana, and the major arcana are our life and spiritual lessons, and they hold more sway over what are known as the pip cards. And the pip cards are going to be our numbered cards, like the 7 of Swords, the 6 of Wands, and also our court cards. And our court cards include our pages, knights, kings, and queens. And we have 2 court cards here. So at the heart of the issue is some kind of, I'm trying to ascertain if this really is speaking about some kind of deception being perpetrated here. Traditionally, the 7 of Swords does speak to lies, cheating, and deception. It is a swords card, and swords deal with thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communication. I have seen this card come up to speak about a home move, although I don't, I never really see that when I look at that particular card, because that guy is kind of sneaking away with something, and he's gotten away with something, and he's done it in broad daylight. And we can see that he's looking back over his shoulder, I guess, to decide whether or not he's got enough time, or does he have enough chutzpah to go back and grab those two swords that are stuck there on the ground. But those two swords also are an indication of being of two minds about something. So this could be someone, you're not exactly sure if someone is has been lying to you or cheating. You're not exactly sure. Now, what crosses this, and interestingly, this is a Jupiter card. This is Jupiter in Leo. But what crosses this card, in other words, what's kind of blocking whatever this Seven of Swords is speaking about, is the Six of Wands. So in one respect, I could say that perhaps, yes, somebody has lied. And that they have, not only have they gotten away with it, they have been victorious and successful in getting away with it, you see? But there's also the implication that there were other people helping this person to perpetrate this particular fraud, all right? The reason why I say that, you see those people in the back? Even the horse is looking like, you didn't do this crap by yourself, okay? If this is about some kind of move, this could be a warning, or that right now, maybe that there's something that you don't know about signing for a particular piece of property. Maybe there's something that the people haven't told you about it. And maybe you've already signed it, and now, maybe this is telling you to be cautious. Sometimes I will see the Hanged Man, but he represents Neptune in terms of a home move, to indicate that there could be some kind of flooding issue or pipe issue, some kind of water or basement issue, foundational structural issue. I would more so tend to see that would be the Tower, but this could be, I always see the swords, the knights, like an event. And to me, in one respect, it almost reads like, if this is a property issue, that there's been some previous flooding on the property that you perhaps are not aware of, and you are about to sign and close on this house. We can see that the Justice card sits. Now, Justice is just what it says, justice, and it indicates fairness and balance and harmony. So this could be about some kind of maybe going back to taking it to an attorney, taking it to court, trying to maybe even mediate whatever the situation is. But this Queen of Wands sits here, and this is a reading for air signs, okay? So what I'm dealing with in terms of the Queen of Wands is somebody who's going to be either a Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, okay? And if not a particular person, sometimes I've been noticing lately that it is the qualities of the sign. So this is going to be somebody who's going to maybe have a fiery temper, someone who is kind of gung-ho and, quick to jump to conclusions or quick to jump into a fight. Somebody who's proud, somebody who's can be influential, perhaps just in the terms of the power of their personality. Someone who can be quite sexual. Sometimes this may show up like a boss, because this person is typically like an entrepreneur. But we can see traveling around that some event has happened that is either causing us to either go to court or to recognize that however this situation is playing out or will play out, there's going to be a hold on it, okay, for one thing. But that justice does indeed come into play. So justice says that even though maybe there has been some shady crap going on with this person, okay, eventually justice is going to work it out, but it will take time. And what you're being asked to do in the meantime is to really try to get a handle on what this means for you personally. Look at your role within the situation and see perhaps where you may have made a misstep, or you might have misspoke, or you might have done some things that were perhaps not above board, or communicated in a manner in which perhaps you weren't being quite as forthright and honest as perhaps maybe you should have been. Now, we do see that we have this Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands speaks to a resolution coming in, one that comes in quite suddenly and quite swiftly. Usually it works out for the better, what this eight wants. So if it's been something that's been bugging you or plaguing you or what have you, this card says that something's going to come in, that some news is going to come in, or you're going to have to travel someplace. But whatever this thing is, it's going to be resolved in a rather quick manner, and it will be in a positive vein for you. Now, what does that mean? Because you may say, let's say, for instance, if you've gone to court and you're waiting on a settlement, you ask for X amount of dollars and they have offered you, a little bit less than that. Well, you can either, hold out for whatever it is that you're asking for, or you can figure out that maybe I can take this and do whatever it is that I need to do with it. So justice is not always about it is about what's fair and what's equal, but sometimes justice is simply that, whatever the decision is, that's a decision. And even though you may feel like you got cheated or got the short end of the stinking stick, it's still fair and equitable. And sometimes you have to accept those things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look, first of all, at what this Seven of Swords is trying to tell us, because we can see that whatever this is, it is some kind of event, some kind of news, some kind of message. Now, this card does represent neighborhoods and communities, okay? It can also represent siblings. It can also represent education. That would be up to high school. It is a Gemini card. This is an Aquarius card. This is a Libra card. So all three of the signs here are presented, and it is more heavily weighted towards the swords. Well, I could say it's equally weighted. And the reason why I say this, because we have a Six of Wands here. We have a Queen of Wands here. And if we wanted to, really, we could say that he's hanging on a wand. Okay? So it's kind of fairly balanced. Now, wands typically represent some type of work. Traditionally, that's how it's interpreted. But I look at the wands just simply as being a motivation. Because in order for you to go out and to get anything in life, you first have to have a motivation. You have to be motivated to go out and get that. And you have to have some level of ambition and desire. So I always kind of look at that card like the wands, like having an emotional component. Now, what is not here are cup cards. And I think that's quite interesting. There are no cup cards here. It's all swords and all wands. So this would lead me to believe that this is some kind of contractual, legal work endeavor, some like that. And this card can sometimes represent having to forgive. And I think, we are taught, I think a lot of us, to turn the other cheek and forgive other people. And that's well and good, and that works. But it's always harder for us to forgive ourselves. And personally, my opinion or my belief is that you can't forgive anyone else if you first cannot forgive yourself. So if you can extend forgiveness to yourself first, it makes it a lot easier to extend forgiveness to other people. This is about the truth of the matter. And, it always takes two to tango, no matter what the situation is. So let's take a look at what this Seven of Swords is trying to tell us here. And it's like, some news came in, but there's something being hidden or covered up. And that is also the energy of the Hanged Man. That's Neptune. Neptune creates a fog. He obscures things. He moves the goal line. The boundaries are blurred. This is about existing between two worlds, the spiritual and the physical world. The thing about the Hanged Man, however, is that the Hanged Man has placed himself in that position on his own. So this could be dealing with somebody who might be feeling sorry for themselves, or they might be feeling like a martyr, unappreciated, unappreciated. You know, look at what all the stuff that I've done. I've given all of this for you, and I can't believe that you know, that you stabbed me in the back or you lied to me like that. This card can also talk about robbery and theft. But it definitely speaks to someone getting away with something. And maybe that has, you know, yet to come to light. For some of you, this could be about a disability issue. We see that he's hanging upside down, so this could be vertigo, or it could be a back or leg injury. Maybe you're waiting on a settlement or disability thing from that. Maybe somebody thinks that you're malingering and it's not, you know what I mean? Hell, maybe you are. I don't know. My job is not to pass judgment. So, it's just a really weird 3 cards on the 7 of Swords. Now, the 3 cards that have come out are the Leggerezza, the Militare, and the Prigione. The Leggerezza, the actual meaning of the card, let me show it to you. Now, this card does speak about sex. It's implied with the butterfly pollinating the bee. But the true meaning of the card is irritability, tact, diplomacy, sensitivities, lightness, okay? But then we have the Militare. And to me, it's kind of saying that this is about someone who perhaps trusted someone. They opened up to someone, because this card is about a relationship with law enforcement. Theft, lies, deception, cheating. So we have someone who perhaps has opened up and trusted someone in that respect. And then you find out that the person has, sometimes this card can be doing things behind somebody's back. You see, because that's what police officers do. They run, you know, background checks. They do stakeouts. You know, they do all kinds of stuff behind the scenes, those black ops. And then we have the Prigione. So this is about someone being caught at something, okay? And maybe this is the cross of the vicar. Remember I said, it's like they got it. They feel like they think they got away with it. And they are perhaps, in effect, acting as though they got away with it. All right? But here comes justice to say no, because justice is really all about people who have been acting and behaving responsibly will be rewarded, and those who have been, you know, cheaters and liars and stealing will get their just desserts. And maybe this is a confusing time right now. This can literally be about you discovering something about someone and you're not exactly sure what you should do about it. And maybe this is why the Queen of Wands has come out to, you know, get mad as hell about this shit and don't let people do that to you. You know, it is sometimes a pick your battles kind of a thing, but this looks like something major here. Now, I want to see what this Knight of Swords is trying to tell us. And then we're going to pull one angel answer card. Wow. Interesting. You see, this person is, and this was a past, he's riding back towards the past. So in one respect, it's like that I'm picking up that this is probably not the first time that you've had an encounter like this with this person. And the reason why I say that, I have the Vedevil. And this is the person tied to their past. This speaks to the sad and lonely man tied to his past. Okay? And then we have the Superbia. Now, the Superbia is, we could say somebody showing their true colors. Okay? The actual meaning of the card is arrogance, hubris, vanity, haughtiness. You know, somebody who's thinking that their shit doesn't stink. But then here's Fortuna. And Fortuna is the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. And so this could be literally like saying that this might be the best thing that has ever happened to you, even though you may not see that right now. Okay, because the Wheel of Fortune implies that when you're down, you are on your way back up. And if you've been at the top, it's time now for you to come down, because why? It's cyclical. Nothing stays the same. There has to be a balance. Light, dark, good, bad, fat, skinny, tall, short. There's always a balance. Okay, and when things come out of balance, then the wheel will come in and try to rebalance those things for you. I'm going to take a look at one more card. I want to see what this Queen of Wands is speaking about. She just sits in a funny place for me. You see, this implies the truth of the situation. And this implies that there's some fogginess going on. That's why we have the corona. He's trying to really cut through the fog and get to the illumination that the person that's needed to resolve the situation in a fair manner, in a quick manner, okay? You know, and again, I'm going to say that if this is a property issue, I do feel that there may be something wrong that you don't know about in terms of the basement. And the reason why I say this is he's kind of chained up in a basement, or at least underground, okay? There's steps behind him, okay? Wow. Now, for some of you, this could be something completely different. Even though there are no cups here, this could be a relationship issue. And I say that now because of what has come out on the Queen of Wands. This fire energy. The precious presence. The literal meaning of this card is a gift, not unselfish. Amore. But you see, his arrow is pointing at those gifts. This is in the past position. And then we see the Belvedere, who is looking in the completely opposite direction. This is the card of great foresight and planning. Now, this could literally be whether you are same-sex or heterosexual relationship, that you have found out that someone has perpetrated or has been lying to you about something. I do sense in one respect that it could very well be that this is not the first time. For some of you, this could also, I would say, involve, there's a legal issue here. I've got just another minute. Let me pull cards on the Justice. But it's also about, I think, finding the balance between where you begin and where another person ends. And I think that this person, you know, it's just hard to say. We're going to pull 3 quick cards on the Justice and see what it has to say. Right? That's what I said. It's like the cards are saying that this is not the first time that it has happened before. Riunione. Okay? This is the card of the meeting or the reunion. Sometimes it can also stand for a job interview. Okay? I'm not kind of saying that here, but, you know, I won't rule that out. I'm reading for lots of people. Then we have the viaggio. This is the trip or the vacation, okay, or the visit. And then we have the messaggere. Now, this card speaks to news from far away. It does not tell me whether this news is good or bad. It just speaks to me about something that has occurred, some kind of meeting or event where maybe two people met, or they have come back together, and there's news on the way. Something that's going to balance this out, that may be able to clear up that fog. We can see that there's a resolution or an event or news coming. Okay? That's all those wands tell me. So it's kind of backing up what's being said. And that right now there's a lot of, you know, I feel that it's kind of like all three. For some of you, this could be a property issue. For some of you, this is a legal issue. For others of you, it is a relationship issue. I think it's speaking to, because I am reading for so many people, and this is a general reading. In order to get any clarity on your own situation requires a personal reading. That way I can tune in specifically to your energies and the energies surrounding your situation. But it's you know, and what do I know? I mean, I read cards, and I can only give you the message as it comes to me. This could be a, you know, one whole situation for somebody that involves a whole bunch of other things. Yes, that's the answer to whatever question was not. Wow, I'm shocked by that, and I'm rarely shocked by the cards. I always pull an angel answer card to say that if this did not answer any questions that you were dealing with, I pull one to answer the question that was not addressed, and the answer is yes. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I mean, it could even mean that there is, at the top, that there is a reunion coming of some sort. You know, I can only read it the way it comes. Anyway, that's what I have for you, air signs. I hope these messages helped. And until next time, namaste.